What's going on, 49er faithful, 49er fam, 49er gang? This is your boy Niner Gang podcast back in the building. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, let's get right on into it, man. Good morning on this Saturday on New Year's Eve. Um, to everybody out there, man, if you're celebrating, please be safe, please be careful. You know, drinking and smoking, whatever you're doing, just be careful, man. Wherever you're doing it at, be safe. You know what I'm saying? There's Uber, there's Lyft, there's all kinds of stuff. Good morning, Mom. There's all kinds of stuff that you can, use to be able to get yourself home if you're at a party and you're too inebriated. You know what I mean? Just be safe, be careful out there, have fun. Spend time with your loved ones or your friends or however you decide you're going to spend your New Year's. But either way, just please, as always, man, be safe. Um, so this game, man, this is a rivalry that dates back years upon years upon years. It was previously called the Battle of the Bay because it was San Francisco and Oakland. If you don't know, San Francisco and Oakland are like a hop, skip, and a jump away from each other, not very far apart in proximity. So the beauty of it, man, is that we are able to go into this game on an 8-game win streak. The Raiders come in on a 1-game losing streak. And the Raiders have just fell apart, man. The sad part for the Raiders specifically is the fact that right before this game, they decided to bench Derek Carr and start Jarrett Stidham. And the only reason they benched Derek Carr is because they don't want to pay him any type of injury guarantee. Like, they literally dismissed him from the squad. Like, don't even come to the game, just so they can make sure that he does not get injured while he's on their property and they have to wind up paying him anything. Because I believe his injury guarantee was about 23 mil, and I think my boy CG said that it shoots up to about 30 or 33 million, with bonuses and stuff like that. You know how it is if you're on the roster, you get a bonus or workout, all kinds of stuff. There's different ways to layer bonuses and incentives and contracts. But for this one specifically, it was a situation of, yes, they did not want to pay him anything and they don't want him getting injured on their field. I definitely wish we would have told Jimmy's ass that all the times he's been fucking injured. Now, speaking of him, I'll give him a little quick second here. He does have the boot off, and he is in the 49ers locker room kind of moving around on one of those one-legged scooters. But no one gives a shit. Honestly, I don't. If he comes back for the playoffs, sit his ass, make him be the backup, but you don't fuck with the continuity that you built with Brock Purdy. Now, the only way I can see that they would ever even go back to Jimmy is if Brock would perform bad in these last 2 games. And I'm not even going to lie to you. Even then, they still shouldn't, just based on the fact that it's a situation of we built continuity with Brock Purdy. We know exactly what we're doing. We don't want to screw this up. So let's make sure that we've got it in the right way. So we don't want to wind up pissing off anybody on the team. I remember when they tried to mix in, Trey Lance a lot last year, and the team basically revolted, so they didn't want that to happen, and then the next thing you know, every now and then when Jimmy was just screwing it up, they put Trey in and he give us a shot in the arm. He threw our first touchdown from the previous year, so on and so forth. But he is out of the boot, and I think they did say he might be on track to be at least available for the playoffs. But if he does become available, you do not give that man that job back. Brock Purdy is rolling. You leave it alone. If you give Jimmy that job back in the playoffs, you basically just wasted your time because he doesn't ever do anything in the playoffs. If you look at his stats and you look at everything that's happened, the man should not be 4-2. He should be 0-6. And those are just facts. You can look at the numbers. You can go back. You can look at the games. I've done the research. Any and everything he's done outside of the yardage, we didn't really need. His 4 touchdowns that he's thrown in the playoffs, all are pretty much almost all but meaningless. I think he threw 1 TD versus the Vikings. I believe he wound up He wound up with a couple TDs in the Super Bowl, and I think he threw one or two versus the Rams. So there were the times when we needed him to be the best version of himself, he was not able to be. So it kind of is what it is. Moving on. This game versus the Raiders, like I said, this has been a rivalry for years upon years upon years. Raider fans don't like Niner fans. Niner fans don't like Raider fans. Raider fans, talk their shit, and so do Niner fans, man. And the unfortunate situation from this has been the violence that comes from these games, which is why they had to stop them. And it's from both sides of the team. I'm not saying that the 49ers are saints and we do nothing and we're always getting attacked because at the end of the day, you see the 49ers doing shit to the Raiders fans and the Raiders fans doing stuff to the 49er fans. It's a lot. It truthfully is a lot. And there's been stabbings, there's been shootings, there's been a lot of unfortunate violence at these games. And people don't know how to shit talk and go home. You got to learn that art. It's fun. It's all fun and games. My first game I ever went to was at Cardinals at State Farm Stadium. That was when it was State Farm. And this was years ago. I believe Troy Smith was our quarterback. I don't remember the year that was, but it was the first NFL game I ever went to. And I went with a friend of mine and his wife is a Niner fan, but he's a Cardinal fan. So well, his wife at the time, he's divorced now. But either way, we went. We had a great time. We sat basically in like a sea of a mix of 49er and Cardinal fans. Everybody just kind of bought beer for each other. We all just talked shit, and we went home. And at that game, I did see a fight, and it wasn't even between two Niner fans. It was two Cardinal fans, both wearing Larry Fitzgerald jerseys, whooping each other's ass. Just didn't make no damn sense. I was like, what are we doing right now? So those things can happen. Violence can happen in games. You just have to be very, very careful. Good morning, Melissa. Happy New Year's Eve to you too. So at the end of the day, man, let's take a look at these matchups and see where we wind up settling when it comes to the Raiders. It's a hard sell because now we have a backup versus a backup. The only difference is they have a little more familiarity with Jarrett Stidham, i.e. Josh Daniels from New England and whatnot. But honestly, Stidham, he may or may not, work out for them. And when the way it works in NFL land is if you're the first string quarterback, you get all the reps. Second string quarterback, you get like a small amount of reps. And if you're a third string quarterback or a practice squad guy, you get nothing. You get the scraps. If anybody decides they want to stay after and work with you, they can, but they don't really have to. You're throwing the guys that probably won't ever see the field. You're throwing the guys that play on special teams, or you're being blocked by guys who are like bottom of the barrel of the squad. And, it's not to say that these guys don't have talent, but that's basically what it is. I don't know, who are they playing? Melissa, let me see, because I don't want to get too off track, but I don't know who Michigan is playing. So let me double check. NCAA football right here. Oh, Michigan versus TCU. Yo, that's a hard sell right there, man. TCU is badass. TCU, the Horned Frogs. Shout out Jason Verrett. Hope he's recovering well. That's his guy, man. But in the spirit of competition, we here in 49er land, we kind of root for each other's teams and whatnot. We never want our teams to lose. So I'm going to root for Michigan and I'm going to root for Ohio State. And I hope they meet, because when they do, that's going to be a moment where you see Peachy and Breezy just not talking to each other at all. They will not speak, because that is a serious, serious rivalry. It's not a game. Let's see. I'm trying to see if UCLA played already. I think we lost our bowl to South Carolina or something like that. Either way, back to the regularly scheduled program. At the end of the day, it's a hard sell when you come and you look at the quarterbacks, because Jarrett Stidham has done much of nothing this year. He's been on the bench. Derek Carr has been the starter pretty much all year. The Raiders have literally blown four leads, and they've lost a lot of games, by small margins. That loss to the Chiefs was only by 1 point. They got blew out by the Saints. They lost to the Jags by 7 points. Lost to the Colts by 5. They lost to the Rams once again, 17-16 by 1 point. So, some of their losses are a little bit, very, very close. So it's like they're right on the cusp of things, but it's definitely hard. It's just a hard sell in general, when those losses come like that. I remember back in 2017 when Kyle first got here, we set a record for most losses by, I think, like 3 points or less. Like, we were on the cusp all year long. What's going on, Throwback? And it got frustrating. It's very, very hard to do. So they've just had a very tumultuous season. It's not been, necessarily the best for them. And when you take a look at it, you look at them on paper, and what do you say? You say Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, and Davante Adams. That is a 5-headed monster nobody wants to deal with. That means you have 2 solid wide receivers, and definitely a number 1, definitely a number 2. You have a starting caliber tight end in Darren Waller, who's a accomplished blocker and even better pass catcher. You have Josh Jacobs, who I think is the league leader in yards for running backs. Right now, he's got 1,539 yards. The man's got 7 TDs. He's averaging 5 yards a carry. So by all accounts, man, Josh Jacobs is balling. And I think he's set to hit free agency next year. So that young man can go out there and get his bread. He can get paid. It's really hard to get paid as a running back. It really is, because people don't value running backs like that. What's going on, J.R. Meadows? J.R. Meadows, look, man, a bold prediction right there, pimping. 37-0. He said we're going to smoke them out. And with the way that things look for the Raiders, I definitely understand, man. It's so tough. The injury bug has literally plagued them all year long, just like it's plagued us, but it's been worse for them. The issue with the Raiders is that most of their starters on defense are injured. And then now you basically have – and then their O-line is not very good, along with the fact that you literally have a whole new quarterback coming in. And this, I don't know if they knew this at the beginning of the week, and it's just a hard sell to think that Jarrett Stidham's going to walk in there and be able to beat this 49ers defense. We're number 1 in the league for a reason. We kick ass, man. We really do. We kick ass like a motherfucker. So it's hard to see all those weapons I just named and then look at Jarrett Stidham and go, yeah, he should be able to just step right in, not miss a beat. I don't think that's going to happen, that Brock Purdy magic will not happen with Jarrett Stidham. I can tell you that much. So, like I said, on offense, when you look at them on paper, man, they are solid. They actually are very solid. It's just, the line is suspect. But other than that, man, they're pretty solid with their starters, bro. Like, that's honestly that everybody that I named, of course, with Derek Carr coming into play, could have made the Pro Bowl. Definitely could have made the Pro Bowl. And people don't understand that part, and for the Raiders, it gets worse because so you're going to get rid of Derek Carr, get out of his contract, and you'll move on. You have to pick up a new quarterback for Josh McDaniels to be able to groom. Then on top of that, Davante Adams isn't going to want to be there if Derek Carr isn't there. He said it himself in an interview straight up. The only reason I'm here is because he is. I stand with my guy. So, Derek, Brandon Ayuk, he poked fun at Davante and said, it's great if you're going to stand with your guy, then, go ahead and sit out with him. A lot of people took that as a negative thing, but I mean, you're just poking fun at somebody, bro. And then he explained in the video, hey, I'm a big fan of Derek Carr. Not Derek Carr, Davante Adams. And, he respects me. He said he modeled his game after him when he was coming out of college, all that stuff. So, people poke fun at each other. It is what it is. It's not even a big deal, man. I don't think the Lions are going to draft a QB throwback. I'm just being honest with you, man. I think they're good with Jared Goff. Goff has been playing very well for them, man. He's been doing it. He's been a part of those wins. So I don't really know. I don't follow the Lions like that, so I couldn't tell you what's been going on in Lion Land. If you want to figure out what's really truthfully been going on in the Lions Land and you're actually curious about it, Last Second Sports, man. Rad is a avid Lions fan, and he will go ahead and do so. He will let you know. And Rad is just like Rad is like us. What's going on, Brian? Good morning. Rad is like us. He's like a lot of us 49ers content creators where we are very passionate about our team. And bro, when they was on that losing streak, man, you couldn't tell that man nothing. I felt bad. He was on that he was on that channel going the fuck off and very well within reason, just due to the fact that it was just earlier in the season, man, these motherfuckers couldn't find a way to win. Now they can't find a way to lose. So it happens. But yes, the Raiders definitely will be drafting QB. You know, they have to. They don't have a choice, and it's just unfortunate, man. You know, both cars just never could figure it out in the league, man. David came in and just got obliterated because he went to a brand new franchise. They had no O-line. They never had an O-line while he was there. I mean, he had some receivers, don't get me wrong. You know, Andre Johnson ain't no fucking joke, and neither was D-Hop. So there's a variety of things going on. But either way, when it comes to this game, when you look at the quarterbacks, I'm going to give the edge to Brock Purdy just because of the continuity and the time he spent with us and everything that he does. So that's how I think about, you know, the quarterbacks and whatnot. Well, no, I don't know. I'm going to do a whole video basically on free agency and kind of take a look at the groups and test the market and whatnot and see what we got. So we shall see. But either way, then you move over to the running backs. CMC is the true all-around durable, you know, all-around back. And I think, no, I don't think Adams will sit out. You know, we can hope for that, but he ain't gonna do that, man. He ain't about to miss no game check, you know, swearing to put down something wrong with him. I doubt that highly. So when you go to the running backs, it's a situation where, I mean, overall, pure running back, Josh Jacobs gets the nod. I'm sorry. If you're talking about just a straight up running back, man, the dude has over 1,500 yards, 7 TDs. He's averaging 5 yards a carry. He balling. And I'm not going to be biased and just give everything in favor of the Niners because it's not easy to do. So when you look at it, we are technically a running back by committee. We do like to use CMC for pretty much most of the game, but you know, we do have TDP, we do have Jordan Mason. There's a variety of things that go on. We even used Ray McCloud out the backfield, and that worked out well for us. He had that 71-yard run. So honestly, if you're looking at a better overall, well-rounded back as far as like catching and running and blocking, you're going to take CMC. But when it comes to just a pure rushing, running back, it's got to be Josh Jacobs. So it's kind of a hard sell, man. I love CMC. I love what he's been doing since he's been here. He's definitely been like a good luck charm because we haven't really lost. I think we only lost the Kansas City game since he's been here. And other than that, we haven't. So these are things that you take a look into. But honestly, when it comes to running backs, man, I got to give Josh Jacobs a nod. That dude's a baller. He is a straight up baller. And there's no question, guess in my mind that dude is that hard. You know, he does what he does, man. And I love my Niners. I truthfully do. But I'm not going to be just overly biased and say stupid stuff, you know, or just give us a nod and everything just because I like my team and I love my team and I respect them. But when you look at it, you know, like I said, McCaffrey is an all-around guy. He is averaging 4.5 yards per carry. He does have 5 touchdowns. So I'm not going to be mad at him for that, you know. And then when you look at him receiving, he's got 43 catches, 358 yards, and 3 TDs there. So, you know, when you look at Josh Jacobs, he's got 47 catches for 369 yards, but he doesn't have any TDs. So it's not too far fetched for us to think about that. Ain't nobody worried about the Cowboys, man. Please, that's a joke. Owens wants the Cowboys to sign him. I wish they would. No, and this is weird because how do you not come to contract terms? You old as fuck. There's no disrespect to T.O., and I ain't saying he ain't got something left in the tank. Believe me, he probably does. He probably has a lot left in the tank. And you could probably definitely, at a minimum, you could use him for the playoffs. You know, hey, T.O., look, man, we're going to give you about 10, 15 plays. You know what I mean? Just to allow him to be able to get in there and get things going. And, I mean, it's been some years since he's played, so it's kind of hard to get your feet wet and get back into football shape when you've taken that kind of time off. But either way, that's you know, that's on the Cowboys. They'll do whatever they're going to do, and I'm going to be there just like Stephen A. Smith, man. accident waiting to happen. And when it does, I will be there to laugh and chuckle, just like he does whenever they fall flat on their face. But when it comes to us, we got to skip over to the receivers. So they do have Hunter Renfrow. They do have Davante Adams. But I'm not really sure of anybody else. So let's take a look at their receiving guys. So they got Davante Adams. They got this guy named Mac Hollins, and Hunter Renfrow. And then we've got Keenan Cole. Those are the only 4 guys that have literally caught a pass for this team, for the Raiders, that is, all year long. Davante is well ahead of everyone with 88 receptions for 1,290 yards and 12 TDs. So he still had a great season regardless of what the fuck was going on at the QB position, whether there be injuries or not. The next guy behind him, Mac Hollins, he's got 52 receptions and he's got about half the yardage, 635 yards, only 4 TDs. So he's got a quarter of the touchdowns that he has. And then you've got, looks like Fabian Moreau. Darren Waller hasn't played much. He's only played 7 games. Hunter Renfrow's only played 8. So Waller's got 2 TDs, 281 yards. And then Moreau, the other tight end, he's played 13 games. So he's got 355 yards and 2 TDs as well. But it's like that, after Davante Adams, it gets very lackluster. Hunter Renfrow is the only guy that poses somewhat of a threat, but he hasn't even barely been healthy all year. He's only got 248 yards and 1 touchdown. So when it comes to us, man, it looks – I want to give the nod to us at receiver. I do. But with no Debo and only BA, I've got to we have more weapons than they do. So now that I think about it, the nod at receiver goes to us. Because we still have BA, we've still got Juwan, we've still got Ray. Like, we've got viable options at the receiving position. So, and then George Kittle has been on a tear, man. So when you look at BA, he's got 65 catches for 855 yards with 7 TDs. Kittle has had this magical resurgence, which we all love. He's at 52 receptions, 713 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Debo's only got 2 touchdowns receiving. He's got 612 yards. He has played just 12 games, and a lot of it's due to injury. Juwan is back there. He's only got 1 TD. CMC's got 3 of them, as I stated earlier. And then when you look outside of that, nobody else is in the double-digit period. But we've thrown it to – there's been a touchdown to Juwan, Ray, Juice, Ross the Boss Dwelly, and TC, who I don't know if he's here or not, but he may or may not be. So we don't have – the crazy thing is when you look at us, we don't have a 1,000-yard receiver, nor do we have a 1,000-yard rusher, like at all. Now, we have 1,000 yards rushing combined with all of the guys that we have, but it's a situation where we just don't have those guys because we rotate through people, and it's just been that way. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely the situation, that we have that's there for us, and we would like to have a 1,000-yard receiver. We really would. And BA is on the cusp, man. I mean, when you think about it, he's at 855, so technically he needs 145 yards. You can get that in 2 games. Guaranteed you can get that in 2 games. That's not hard. You know what I'm saying? And I would love for him to be a 1,000-yard receiver and a double-digit touchdown guy. At the end of the day, man, you got to drive your price up. I know his 5th-year option will be coming up, I believe, after this year, so they definitely going to pick that up. But we have a receiver by committee type thing, and they have a more so a Davante Adams type thing. It's basically how it works. So we're hoping that we can key in on BA and let that be the case. So when it comes to the receivers, just because both of us are kind of working with one guy at this point, you got to give it to the Raiders because Davante Adams is an all-out, flat-out star. And it's not to say that BA isn't, but he's not Davante. And I'm not going – like I said, I'm not going to be disrespectful. So we've got the QB, they've got the running back, and they've got us on wide receiver. Damn. Tight end, I'm giving it to us. Kittle was a monster. I just stated his numbers. Not even wasting my time with anybody else. But Darren Waller was barely healthy all year, and whoever the fuck Moreau is, he can Moreau his ass on out of here. George Kittle is the best tight end in fucking football. He's the best all-around guy period. You know what I'm saying? Travis Kelce does catch a lot of touchdowns, but that's because they don't ask him to block. They ask him to catch the football. And I can tell you right now, if you put George Kittle in a 2 tight end set with Patrick Mahomes, it's just disgusting. That would be unfair to the league. He wouldn't even need receivers. He would just need serviceable receivers that could go out there and do. He could stick with Juju Smith-Schuster. Hell, they can pull Antonio Brown crazy ass off the streets and then go ahead and do it. You know, and I just I saw a short that he sold the dude a fake ass watch. So I don't know, man. You know, prayers up for Antonio Brown. Hopefully he gets his life together. You know, he keeps saying there's nothing wrong with him, but you go out and do crazy shit. You got the cops at your house. Like, it's just too much. But it is what it is. When it comes down to the offensive line, we have a better O-line. And then when you flip to the defensive side of the ball, we automatically have that. Like, I'm not even wasting my time going through position groups of none of that. We are better than them. I was not able to get to Vegas, man. I wanted to go to Vegas, but I wasn't able to, you know, due to unforeseen circumstances. I am still here in Arizona. I would have definitely went and had a great time and been able to meet everybody and ball out and do the things that I would love to do. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to go. But I'll definitely be able to make it to different games. And if we make it to the Super Bowl, I don't got to go nowhere. Shit, University of Phoenix Stadium is about 30 minutes from my place. I can drive right over there right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't worried about that. No, it's not University of State Farm. My bad. It was University of Phoenix Stadium at one point, I believe. Maybe when I first moved here or something. But either way, when you look at this game as a whole, we should, yeah, definitely it sucks, but it's all good. When you look at this game as a whole, we should just kick their teeth in. Even with Devontae Adams being out there. You could literally let Devontae go off and have himself a game, but as long as you stop Renfro, Darren Waller, and Moreau, and you know, that's pretty much it. I'm worried and not worried about Josh Jacobs. And the reason being is because we stopped the run. Like, nobody runs on us. So that 1,500 yards that Josh Jacobs has is about to go in the toilet because he'd be lucky if he gets 75. You know what I'm saying? And it's just hard to run on us. We don't allow 100-yard runners. We haven't in a while. And I'm talking about individual runners, not as a collective when it comes to rushing. So, yeah, but this is smart, CJ. And the reason that it's smart is because you want to save Debo for the playoffs. And you don't want to put him out there if he's truthfully not ready. And I think it's a situation where that's what they're doing. If he was ready, he would definitely have gone. You know what I'm saying? And if this was a playoff game, he'd be playing. Because in the playoffs, everybody plays through any and everything. You know what I'm saying? You could take a leg away from George Kittle. That motherfucker would hop out there on one leg on the field and be trying to, get out there and catch touchdown passes. It's just the type of person that he is. It's just type of people that are in the NFL. They usually will play through anything in the playoffs because that's the time where it truthfully matters. It matters during the regular season. But you can take a couple games off during the regular season versus the playoffs, man. It's definitely going to be hard. I understand what you're saying as far as him being rusty, but I honestly think that you could probably play him a couple of plays in the Cardinals game and let him knock the rust off. I would limit him to about 10 to 15 plays and I would tell him straight up, this is the plan. We're saving you for the playoffs, bro. We're going to give you a couple of plays here and there to let you get, knock the rust off, get a couple hits in, see how you feel. But as long as your body responds correctly, we're probably going to sit you and just let that be, let you come in and take care of things in the playoffs. And right now we're just playing for seeding purposes. So we're always hoping that the Eagles lose, and we're hoping that the Vikings lose as well, strictly to be able to help us in our efforts to be able to reach the number 2 and possibly the number 1 seed. So hopefully that does work out for us. But, you never know. Teams got to do what they got to do, and they got to play who they got to play. So let's take a look at the injury report here now that we've necessarily gone over the matchup type situations. So out Jimmy, Kevin Givens, and Debo. And Kevin Givens and Debo are on track for the playoffs. They will be ready. Nothing to be worried about there. Guys that are questionable is Kerry Hyder and Ambry Thomas. So usually when guys are questionable, they usually play. Now, not listed was Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa, Jordan Mason, CMC, Brock Purdy, and Mitch Wishnowsky. This group all showed up on the practice report at various points during the week. None of them landed on the injury report, which means they'll be good to go on Sunday. So this list is from Niners Wire. I do really appreciate Niners Wire because they do really, really good work. I'm going to try to see what's going on with the Raiders because usually I like to have both. But I'll go over to the Raiders Wire and see what they're saying as it pertains to their guys that are out and questionable and stuff like that. So let's see what we got. So yeah, they're talking about the guys that are out for us, but questionable for the Raiders are tackle Jackson Barton and running back Zamir White. Oh, here we go. That's a better thing. Yes. Okay, so I got it coming up from Twitter. It's going to look a lot better for me to be able to see it because it was tiny as hell. And though I got great vision, it ain't that damn fantastic. Let's take a look. Okay, so injury report for the Raiders. We've got only 2 questionable people. It's Jackson Barton, their tackle, and Zamir White, their running back, but they don't care about that. They've got Josh Jacobs fully healthy. Zamir White probably wouldn't be doing nothing but watch from the fucking sidelines anyway. Let's see. So everybody else practiced. We all know that Derek Carr won't even be at the game. So I guess there's a cornerback, Nate Hobbs. You've got Curtis Bolton, the linebacker, was full. Amik Robinson, the cornerback, was full practice. So, I mean, they don't really have too many people, that were injured. For us, we have Nick Bosa was a full participant in practice on Thursday and Friday. Then you had Javon Kinlaw was limited, but they're doing that on purpose because they're trying to continue to work him back and they don't want to re-aggravate the injury. We all know Debo is out. But everybody else listed on it was pretty much good. The only people that were limited on Thursday was Kinlaw, Debo, Armstead, Hyder, Jordan Mason, and Hyder was limited on Friday as well. Jordan Mason, CMC, Ambry Thomas didn't participate he participated Wednesday, limited, didn't participate on Thursday, and limited again on Friday, so he might be questionable again. And then Brock is full go all week. So everybody is pretty much good on our end, and that's the injury report as it pertains to the Raiders versus the 49ers. What's going on, John? Good morning, brother. So I don't really see any real way we can lose this game. I'm just being flat out honest with you. It sucks that the Raiders had so many injuries. We're not really playing them at full strength and that they're not really doing very well, man. Because like I said, that's an all-star cast of players. That's the hard part, people. It's an all-star cast of players, and nothing has worked out for them. Josh McDaniels has looked completely like shit. Derek Carr just hasn't been able to keep himself healthy and going throughout the season. The only bright spot for them is literally 2 people. It's Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams. That's literally it. Good morning, Christy Marie. So it's definitely a hard sell, man. It's so hard of a sell for them to be able to do so, to be able to make it like that. I know for me, I would have loved to face him in full strength because it's always a great test. But to be honest with you, Josh Jacobs, you get shut down because we don't allow anybody to run on us like that. Devontae Adams, they may give him a lot of attention, and with Devontae, you must give him a lot of attention. I honestly think that you let Mooney travel with him. You don't allow Ambry Thomas. You don't allow Deommodore Lenoir to have to match up with Devontae. And don't get me wrong, I love Demo. I got faith in him, but this is a top 2 receiver in the league. Like literally, he's 1, and I believe Cooper Kupp is 2. Cooper Kupp is one of the coldest white boys I've ever seen in my life. Like that dude does shit that other people just can't do, and he's consistent about it too. Sucks that he got injured toward the end of the year, and then that's hard. That's a hard sell for him. And I know he's a Ram, so everybody's like, damn. But I'm just saying, overall, the guy he's badass. As far as a team, fuck the Rams. And I'm happy that their season went in the fucking toilet and they look like shit. And I'm glad I don't see none of they punk ass people in my chats. I know all of them, to me, I ain't gonna front you, man. A lot of these Rams fans are some bitches. Came in my chat talking all that shit, running their fucking mouth, and I ain't seen their ass since. And I'll maintain that till you come in and get this fucking smoke like you're supposed to. When you lose, then I don't want to hear shit. You kicked your ass all year long, and all you can do is come into my chat talking about the champs are here, Well, look, the champs are here now, motherfucker. We run the NFC West. This is our division. And all we got to do is beat the Cardinals, and we'll swept everybody in this division. So at the end of the day, shout out to Real Talk Niner Talk. They got the sound effects and everything, man. My boy Don be hooking it up. He's got the one where it sounds like somebody just punching and it says, "Get your ass out of here." So that's what we did to the punk ass Rams all year long. So no Super Bowl hosts for you motherfuckers, and you don't have a first round pick. So oh well. But at the end of the day, when you look at this matchup, we're better on defense, and they just don't have answers for us. The only answer they have for us, honestly, is Davante Adams and Josh Jacobs. And Josh Jacobs is going to be null and void because we'll shut him down with the run game, because our run defense is stellar and stout. And then with Davante, if we are bracketing him and paying attention to him like we should, then it should be easy, man. The Hunter Renfrow is definitely a formidable receiver. You got to be very mindful of him, but I can put Demo on Hunter and be okay. I can feel comfortable with that. Even if Hunter slides into the slot for some reason, and they want to put Jimmy Ward on him, I'm all right with that. It's Davante who I have to think about consistently because the dude just makes plays, period. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Davante Adams is a damn good receiver. I'd love to have him here. Oh, if you want to leave, fuck Vegas. Come to Cali. Come hang out with us. Could you imagine the 3 wide receiver set with Davante Adams, Debo Samuel, and Brandon Ayuk, and throw Debo in the slot? Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Man, no way you could lose a game. You shouldn't lose a game that with an all-star cast of wide receivers like that. That would be fantastic. But either way, man, I agree, CJ. This is one of our best-looking teams in a very long time, and we're doing this with just everybody. That's the cool thing that I can say about Kyle Shanahan. I know I give him shit a lot, but that's because I hold everybody accountable and no one is above reproach in my eyes. But he's always done things with just a cast of characters. There's never been one true all-star. It's always been a group of people that basically do those things. You know what I mean? Like everybody comes together and they work with that, and that's how that is. It's not a situation of, well, there's this one guy and he does everything and he's the only focal point of the offense. No, this is just by committee. Everybody helps. And I can appreciate that we were able to rely on just about everyone rather than sticking to just one guy. So I don't do score predictions as far as that's concerned. To me, it's a little off to be able to do so. I am going to jump to Instagram in just a second because I got to do my game picks for the week. I know I keep missing them, but shit keeps happening, man. I keep working. I get to doing shit, man, and there's things that go on, so I don't always get around to it. But I'm going to do my game picks. I got to make sure I catch up on last week's video to see what the hell I picked and make sure to see where my numbers fall. But either way, man, while you're celebrating on this New Year's Eve, please be safe. Be safe. I cannot stress this enough, man. Don't drink and drive. Don't smoke and drive. Don't do anything and drive. If you're going somewhere for New Year's Eve, please be blessed to be there and be safe while you are there. If you feel like you need to go home, catch yourself. I wasn't able to get to the game, Chrissy. I appreciate it, though. If you are able to, get yourself an Uber or a Lyft or somebody there, just do that. But do not. Don't go out there and drink and drive. Don't go out there doing too much. Just take your time. Hell, if you got that friend that doesn't drink, doesn't like alcohol, take them with you. Tell them, hey, man, I give you $20. Just be my designated driver because I'm about to go out here and have a blast. We all got to have those people around us like that. So it happens, but just be careful and be mindful of your surroundings. New Year's Day is unfortunately a day where a lot of stuff goes on. You don't want anything negative or bad to happen. You just want to spend it with your loved ones or your friends or whoever you're spending it with and have yourself a good time. Yes, Mom, definitely have a drink for me. If they got any Hennessy, go ahead and take a little shot of yak. But at the end of the day, when you look at this game overall, there's no reason we shouldn't win. I do believe uh, niggas a bit. Yo, bro, I gotta come to Ohio just to fuck with all three of you guys, man. I really fucking do. I gotta get over to Ohio, not when it's fucking snowing though. I ain't coming nowhere near that bitch when it's the wintertime. If I can get there when it's not, Happy New Year's to you too. Happy New Year's to everybody in the chat and anybody watching. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you and your family. I wish you nothing but blessings and prosperity in the new year of 2023. So yeah, man, we all got that friend that drinks different shit, bro. But you know what I'm saying? Nick's a good dude, bro. Nick's a good dude, man. Y'all give him shit. And I know he's the homie and he's that guy that that you guys pick on. But at the end of the day, if somebody was trying to really pick on him, I know that you and Tony would beat the shit out of him. It's just it's not a game, There's certain things that we allow people to do to us, but we don't allow other people to do to them because it's different. It's just straight up different like that, man. Like we don't play those games because we're like, no, this is not okay. You're not going to be talking to the homie like that. You want this smoke, come get it. It's just how we all are. But once again, thank everybody so much for tuning in. I do believe, CG, what's going on, man? I do believe we win this game handily. At the end of the day, I'm not going to give you a score, but I'm going to tell you right now, the Raiders about to get their ass kicked. We shouldn't have any problem with their defense. And we, outside of, there you go, man. See, look at this right here. And this is what I was talking about. Just like, everybody has a friend that they always fuck around with and pick on, He said, Nick has saved our lives. He's a hard dude to take down. I'll give you that. Yeah, man. Yeah. You got to remember, man. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. My boy Tommy in the building. He's a little late, but yeah, everybody, we want all the smoke. We do. We want every single bit of it. You know what I'm saying? And for me, see, the hard thing about it is when you do these things and when you go these places, it's insanity strictly based on the fact that you've got dudes that go hard, like go crazy hard for their teams. And, when you got your friends out there, your friends will go hard for you, and the key to having friends is to keep a small circle. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to a lot of big celebrities, you listen to a lot of people who have things, it's a small amount of people. You keep your circle small because then that way you don't wind up allowing too many people to be able to do things and hang out with you and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't honestly keep everything small, but it is what it is. CG says we play against Stidham before he was in New England. Yeah, but I mean, he ain't shit. Yeah, Newton was benched in the second half, and Stidham didn't do shit. So we all good about that. I ain't worried about Jarrett Stidham. I'm not worried about Josh Jacobs. I am worried about Davante Adams. I will say that. And people who aren't worried about him, I have no idea why. I love Mooney, but Mooney ain't – Mooney is not Deion Sanders. Let's state that. Mooney's a really, 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 really good DB. But I ain't saying I'm doubting that he can take care of Davante Adams. I'm just telling you, it's Davante motherfucking Adams, and the dude's going to get his touches. Like, with guys like that, you hope to slow them down. If you shut them down, you've won, and you've had a really big win. But it's rare when that happens. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, Adams gonna play. He gonna play because like I said, he's already over 1,000 yards. He's already in the double digits of TDs. So he kept his all pro Pro Bowl type moniker and name that he so deserves. But I don't think he's gonna take this game off because Derek Carr isn't there. Now next year, I don't know. He may pull I want out because if they get rid of Derek Carr, he's not gonna want to stay in Vegas for what? They suck. Like, I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? And I know he just got like a brand new contract, so you're gonna have to figure out who's gonna be able to take that contract and be able to understand how much they're taking on and who has the cap space. You see what I'm saying? Be honest with you, I think Jacksonville would be a great place for him. Trevor Lawrence is a very, very good quarterback, man. And if you give him a target like Davante, I mean, Then you got a nice little three-headed monster. Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence, Devontae Adams. Jags could be looking a lot better. Shout out my young boy, Deshaun Dixon. Happy New Year to you and your fam if you catch this. But there's my dog, late Perk Dog. That's my homie, man. I love Perk Dog. He is so cool. Raiders could rally, being upset about Carr. I don't think they're going to rally, man. They ain't, please. I'm pretty sure there are people in the locker room that are upset that David was benched. Or Derek, I'm sorry. They both got names start with D, you know what I'm saying? Pause. So, morning, Perk. But there's nothing about him that scares me. I'm sorry. I'm not scared of Jarrett Stidham. You know, first of all, your last name is Stidham. I don't. You know, there's certain things that you can just joke about and just make fun of. Sorry, your last name is Stidham. Like, I don't know, man. I'd rather, honestly, if I wanted a bigger challenge, I'd rather take Bailey Zappi and see if he could try to zap us, you know, with him playing. But it's not gonna happen. So 49ers get the dub. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. If you did come in late, you can catch the video from the beginning and listen to all the points and whatnot. X factors for the game for me. I'm probably going to go ahead and I did state that I feel like CMC is going to go off. CMC is going to have an amazing game. And then on defense, Fred Warner, man. Fred Warner. I want Fred Warner to go out there and ball out, man. I love Dre Greenlaw. Dre Greenlaw has been flat out fucking amazing. But I'd love Fred Warner to go out there and just have himself a motherfucking day. I want him to go out there and be hitting people, flying around, doing the things that he does, man. And this defense is just stellar. When you look at the Raiders, so I never really took a look at their sacks. So, of course, leading sack guy is Max Crosby. The next guy would be Chandler Jones, but Chandler Jones is out. He is not playing. So, literally, that's it. Like, I looked – I just realized that, yo. I literally looked at that. It is crazy. We have two things that are similar on these teams. Max Crosby has 11.5 sacks. And then behind him, the next closest guy behind him has 4.5, and that was Chandler Jones. And then when you look at us, it's even crazier. So Nick Bosa has 17.5 sacks, and the next guy behind him is Samson Ebukam with what? 4.5 sacks. So it's usually one guy getting the sacks, but the pressures are created from all over the field. You know, and we have guys that have, you know, multiple sacks in different positions. So we are definitely balling in ways you can't imagine, man. Once again, everybody, thank you so much, so much for tuning in. Warner about to go out there and just I'm pretty sure he's gonna pick a ball off. Warner, I'm gonna predict something. Warner's gonna have an interception in this game, and he's gonna have at least 1 to 2 TFLs. Definitely a couple of tackles for loss. Because I think what's going to happen is they're going to send the house at Jarrett Stidham. And that Raiders O-line is not going to be able to handle that. Because you can handle that. You can try to handle the front four. We still get to you with just that. But the cool thing about D'Amico is he actually blitzes at times. Remember, Saleh didn't like to blitz. It just wasn't his thing. Saleh was very, very adamant about his system working. You know, you're always with the front four, and the front four does exactly what they do. Then, you know, everything works in unison. It's like, I get it, Saleh, and it's cool. That's nice, man. And, you know, I know you got the deep military voice, you know, and shout out to the Lebanese people. You got a head coach. And, you know, anybody out there in Lebanon, you can look at Robert Saleh and say, hey, he got over there to America. He did it. We can do it too. You know, he's definitely a beacon of light for those people, and that's awesome. Still going to definitely do a show on guys in the league in any way, shape, or form, whether they be coaching, whether they be playing, whether they quality control, anything. I want to do a video on guys in the league that are from other places that you definitely don't expect, because football is worldwide, but it's not like that. Like, soccer is the most popular sport in the world. We all know that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Argentina for getting that win. You know, not very happy about that because, you know, France lost. Shout out to Mbappe. He's definitely a hardcore guy. Definitely got to give me one of those jerseys. But, yeah, it's definitely – Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, throwback. And I'll touch on this for just a second, and then I'll get up out of here and let y'all get back to your day. I am going to say this. You invested too much in Zach Wilson. Though it's not several picks, it's just the fact that you drafted him that high. So when you draft a guy that high, it looks bad as an organization when you just kick that dude to the curb and you don't give him a shot to try to redeem himself. Me personally, after that bullshit comment, he would have never saw the fucking field again. And I would have made him apologize to the team. Or I honestly would have looked to see if the team, looked at him, because it's different, bro. You don't go out there like it. That was a Jimmy G-esque move. I'll say that. And the reason that I can say that is because there's too many times where I watch Jimmy G walk to the podium and not take responsibility for a shitty ass play. It's very trash. So Zach Wilson, hopefully you've endeared yourself to your teammates. You've made up for that mistake because, as a man, as a person, as a human being, when you notice you have a job and you haven't done it correctly, own your shit, man. It's one thing my pops taught me as a kid, bro. I give him so much credit for that. He told me all the time, own your shit, be a man, no scapegoats. You know what I'm saying? So anything that I ever did in my life, any negative things that I've done or any type of trouble I ever got into, I never blame the next person. I take ownership. It's me. I did it. That's that. That's my fault. I got to deal with whatever consequences may come. And that's the key. It's ownership, man. It's definitely ownership. You cannot not take ownership for the things that you do. You know what I'm saying? Most of my life, I grew up without a father, but I never let that be a scapegoat for anything that I did. I wasn't going to use that as a tool for me to continue to do stupid shit and move on with life. You know what I'm saying? Because some people will, and I'm not, some people really suffer from some type of, mental illness, and those things are real for them when they don't have certain things in life. But at the end of the day, I was just raised different, man. I'm from a different era. I'm from the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Us 80s babies that are from LA, we call ourselves crack babies because that was the era when crack took off. It's not the fact that we all had a mother who was strung out on crack or anything like that, because my mom never was strung out on no crack or no drugs and none of that shit. But it's just a term that we use, man. It's an LA thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? You crack babies in the 80s, y'all some weed babies in the 90s. In the 2000s, you motherfuckers are pill babies, because that's what the fuck's going on. Popping ecstasy and all that other bullshit, Getting into these new eras, I don't know, man. And fuck, think 2010 to 2020, that's your meth era and fentanyl and all that shit. It's just horrible. But either way, man, don't do drugs. Smoke a little weed, it'll save your life. This right here. See, I was about to get up out of here, and Christy put this here. See, this right here, this will save your life. I'm going to give y'all a little story, man. And I know I always have stories. I'm going to give y'all a little story. So I have an older sister who didn't necessarily, her and my mom, they had a little bit of a strained relationship. They didn't get along too well. But this story was crazy. They got into it, and she said she's gonna call the cops. So my mom said, "All right, go ahead, call them. They ain't gonna do nothing for me." And what you have to understand is those cops came to the crib. They literally ran down every single thing that would happen if they decided to take her. They told her, okay, if we take you from your mom's going to lose her parental rights. It's going to be really hard for her to get you back. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you to the station. You're going to go down to the station. You're going to sit there for a couple of hours until we can get someone from CPS to come and pick you up. They're going to take you to a home. That home is probably going to be either all girls or girls and boys. When you get to that home, it's automatic. It's on from there. The minute you set foot in that bitch, they own your head. They want to smoke. Anything you get, they want to steal from you. Anything you get, they want to take from you. It's an all-out battle. Then you possibly get placed. You're a teenager, so I don't know if that's going to work. You're possibly going to get placed in a home. Maybe. Because most people looking to want to adopt someone young because it's easier to shape and mold them. When you get a teenager, people have already become themselves probably by at least, I think, the age of like 10. Like they kind of start to set in their ways. So it's going to be hard to break somebody that's already who they are. So most people don't want to adopt teenagers. You could sit at home for God knows how long. You could be there till you're 18. We don't know. But in the process of being there, there's a lot of negative things that can happen to you. Now, and then all the privileges that you have, all the things that you don't have that shit there. And you don't know if you're going to have that in whatever home you decide to go into. You know what I'm saying? So he basically laid out the whole scenario. She chilled out. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part of it. Like in today's times, like ass whooping is looked at as a bad thing, but that's because we live in sensitive ass times. You can't say nothing. You can't do nothing. Comedians cannot even be comedians anymore because nobody can take a joke and everybody gets fucking butthurt and wants to cancel you and all this other stupid shit. We live in a sensitive ass fucking world. Hell, even look at football. I'll use that as a prime example. Look at football. Think about it like this. In football, it's supposed to be a gladiator sport. Now it's a cupcake sport. Back in the day, you get your ass blasted, you get the fuck up, pick yourself up off that damn field, that turf, and keep on pushing. What's going on, Cook Sports? But those are the things that happen. And an ass whooping ain't never hurt no damn body. I got my ass whooped a couple of times. Shit, my pops didn't believe in the belt. He felt you could become immune to the shit. I didn't get whooped. I got punched in the fucking chest. Now, mind you, this is somebody 5'8", 260, with massive ass arms, who spent most of his life in and out of the penitentiary. And it's not to glorify that, because he wasn't happy about it, nor was he proud of it. But I can tell you this, never been to jail, and it's because of him. Those ass whoopings will save your life. There were cops back in the day that would tell you, whoop your kid's ass so I don't have to whoop it later. Why? Because the overwhelming statistics of no actual punishment, no actual account for actions for children means you usually wind up in jail at some point. If you have no discipline, you are undisciplined. It happens. You know what I'm saying? And now, guys, this is my mom. And listen to what she just said. After all the mass whoopings, 3 businesses. My sister is extremely successful. She wants for nothing. She asks for nothing. She don't need your help. She do it all by her motherfucking self. Part of it was due to what? The mass whoopings to keep you straight. Now, some people may look and go, oh my God, corporal punishment is so old and ancient. It's just wrong. Okay, well, why you tell little Timmy to chill the fuck out in the corner and he keeps kicking the fucking wall and he done put a hole through your drywall and you didn't whoop his ass for it? You know what he about to do? He's going to go in the room. He's going to throw a bunch of shit around. When you go to the store, he's going to act the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Tell me this, everybody in the chat, and my mom can attest to this because she's in here. When we went to the store, there were simple fucking rules, and those rules were laid out before you ever even set foot in that goddamn store. When we go in this store, I'm going in this store to get what we supposed to get. Don't ask me for nothing. Don't look at nothing. Don't take your hand off this basket. Stay right here and be where I can see you. The only person that ever got sent away from that basket was my oldest sister, because she was the oldest. And she was basically my mom's sidekick. So everything that she had to do was because she was the oldest. But that's how it worked in a home. You see what I'm saying? But when we went in that store, that's how it worked. There were no questions. And if you kept your mouth shut and did exactly what you said, you probably could get something at the end of the day. You probably could. I'm not going to say. I mean, shit, plenty of times I got myself some candy shutting the fuck up and doing what I was told. You know what I'm saying? So it builds character. And I'm not telling you to beat your kids. I'm not stating that. There's no way. No, I'm not telling you to just mollywop. No. Just simple ass whoop. You know what I'm saying? Make them remember that there are consequences for their actions and move on with life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I always joke, Bernie Mac is my favorite comedian of all time. I always joke and say, fuck a kid up. You know what I'm saying? And look, there you go. See, look at what Brian is saying. My dad worked for, it's not going to change. Like, you don't, you must at some point be able to have your children understand it's just what I like to call a respectable amount of fear. And that's what it is. And it's not that thing where every time you raise your hand, I'm about to, oh God, like, no, it's knowing if my mama told me not to touch the stove because it's hot, probably shouldn't do that. Now, there are some parents that'll let you do shit just so you fucking learn. I'm one of those parents. If I tell you that such shit because you burned yourself, no, I'm gonna give you some cream, get your burn down. But I told your dumb ass not to do it. Maybe you'll listen next time. It's just these are things, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what CJ Gray said. I see kids trying their parent. If you every now and then, and it's not necessarily that, it's just straight simple. If you know there are consequences to your actions, you are less likely to do those things because you don't want to deal with those consequences. I know right now, if I take a gun and go into a store and rob that motherfucker, there's a high probability I get caught. Now, I know that partially because I'm black, it's going to be even worse when they do the sentencing. But at the end of the day, I'm not stupid. I ain't going to rob no motherfucking store. I have a job. I'm blessed. I may not have every single thing that I want in life, but I am blessed to be alive. I'm blessed to have, a roof over my head, clothes on my back, shoes on my feet, and food to eat. So I have no reason to do stupid shit like that. So with all of this talk about ass whoopings, let's take this as the Raiders are our children. They've been really, really bad this year, all year long. We've been trying to let it slide, Every now and then we send them to the room, you know what I'm saying? It's not, it's not really good. So what's going to happen is, see, the Raiders did some real egregious shit. They was out late, Yeah, man. Yeah, hey, bro, I don't care what nobody says, man. The funniest shit I ever seen was Mike Epps. He was talking about it. He was like, yeah, man. He was like, and this is no knock to anybody that's white. It was just funny to me. He was like, yeah, man, you got a little Timmy out there. He's like, you're fucking out of here, Mom. You're fucking out of here. And he just like kicked his leg, and I just died laughing, bro, because I've seen shit in real life. I cried. But basically, it's very much a discussion of accountability. Yes, CJ. Holding them accountable, making sure they understand. We got to hold the Raiders accountable for all that bullshit they put on the field this season and whoop their ass. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking old school with the belt, put you over the knee. And if y'all remember, remember how you used to get talked to when you get your ass whooped? You ever had that parent to take the belt and they whooping you and they giving you a whole sermon, the symphony while they whooping your ass? I'd have told you to stay out of that, and shit just keep going. I laugh about it now, but believe me, bro, I've been there. It's happened to me. I've seen it firsthand. It's fucking hilarious. So we got to go out there, man, and whoop these Raiders' ass. And whoop they ass. Left and right, man. You know what I'm saying? And yes, my mom did it. I give my mom all the credit, man. I will end this video by saying I am blessed to have never been to jail. I have never been shot. I've never been in a gang. And that is all thanks to, two people. My mom gets, I want to say good. I'll give mom's about 75. I'll give my pops, God rest his soul, 25. And the reason that I give my mom's a 75 is because she's been there my whole life and it's never changed. And the reason I give my pops a 25 is because he did. He kept me out of jail, man. My pops used to tell me horror stories, bro. And my pops he wasn't in fucking basic ass county. I'm talking about state penitentiaries, Chino, Lancaster, all that shit. And he taught me these things. The people that I had around me, I was so blessed and fortunate. And I'm from LA. So technically speaking, where I grew up, how I grew up, and the time frame that I grew up in, I should have been shot. I should have been stabbed. I should have been to jail, and I should have definitely been in a gang. All of those things did not happen. Now, have I been harassed by the police? Have I been pulled over? Have I been handcuffed? Oh yeah, man, shit, all that shit's happened. You know what I'm saying? You get harassed by the fucking police in LA walking down the goddamn street, minding your own fucking business, just literally chilling. Not doing shit, but that's just, it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't even worry about that shit no more. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't change anything that happened in the world strictly based on the fact that LA made me who I am, and it helped me to be smart. And see, I'm smart in ways that other motherfuckers aren't. You could be as book smart as you want. Walk out there in them streets, your ass will be dumb as shit. And that's what the Raiders are right now. They book smart. And the 49ers are book smart and street smart. So we're going to show them the streets on the field. And we're going to whoop their ass. Fred's going to come in, tackling everything, moving. So is Dre. If Azeez gets out there, so is Azeez. That front four is going to be all over Jarrett Stidham like stink on shit. Devontae Adams, hopefully he, doesn't have a game. If he doesn't, Mooney has shut him down. We have everything. Yeah, Folsom. Yeah. Pop. I'm telling you, man, I love my Pops. God rest his soul. Bro, everything to me, man. Everything to me. But it's definitely a ass whooping coming for the Raiders, man. The Raiders are badass kids. And they've been bad all their life. So we're going to come in like the new stepdaddy. We're going to come in like Ving Rhames and Baby Boy and just snatch you up and make you realize and understand, oh, you here, but I'm here. We're going to be in the Raiders kitchen, cooking eggs, butt ass naked and shit. So it's definitely all good, man. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for letting me give y'all a couple of little stories here and there. Everybody, like I said, man, stay safe, be blessed. Most of all, remain faithful. I'm out this joint. I'm gonna hit Instagram probably about like 20 minutes. I got to figure out. We can whoop them like that. Yeah, we gonna beat them like they stole something. Come on now, CG, you already know that. All the good old West Coast terms. Beat you like you stole something. Beat the brakes off you. Mollywop you. All kinds of terms. Those things are just definitely great. What the fuck? Brian said I had to stop playing Pokemon Go. Cops keep stopping me. I will be out walking my dog, and they will pull up on me. I am just walking. It's wild, bro. It's wild. Wherever you live, you never know, man. Cops are crazy. Been very fortunate in Arizona. I have. Cops have been pretty cool out here. I haven't really had any issues, knock on wood. But then at the same time, I don't do a goddamn thing. I'm just a regular motherfucker, When I'm out doing whatever I'm doing, I ain't doing nothing crazy. I'm just, believe me, I'm cool, calm, collected. Let's go out here and kick these Raiders' ass. Everyone stay faithful, stay blessed. Once again, have a safe night. If you feel you're too inebriated, call an Uber, call a Lyft, Waymo. There's a billion fucking things you can call. I think taxis even still fucking exist, for God's sakes. Don't drink and drive. Don't smoke and drive. Please be safe. I want to be able to see all of the same people that are in my chat and that watch my videos there. I don't want anything to happen to anyone. And like I said, I wish y'all nothing but blessings and prosperity in the new year. Stay safe, and we out. Peace.